Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Belichick's Bitches podcast, the number one podcast in the world, using some sort of metric. Using the best source, the only source. Do trust me. I'm your host, Brennan, and along with me, as always, is my co-host, Tyler.
Yes, and we actually had a great week of football. I think it was a top tier week. I'll be honest. I feel like it was almost like a Christmas present this week. It was great. A lot of team wins, if you'd say so. Had my favorite moment of the season, I think. And New England lost, so we get better draft position.
I just had to hype up a team, and then they did that. I had to hype up a team last week, and then they did that to me. We'll talk about that later.
It's just beautiful. Anyway, so we'll just kind of jump into it. So it was a Thursday night game. It was actually, I think this was the last Thursday night game of the season. From now on, it's just Friday and Saturday games.
Which is weird. But okay.
I don't understand the Friday game. We get a Friday game this week. Saints Vikings. Yeah. So the Chargers at the Raiders, and it was kind of a game of not really who's trying to win. It was who wanted to lose the hardest. Both teams were trying, but the Raiders wanted it a little bit more. It was embarrassing. I didn't even really watch the overtime. It was just bad. Anthony Lynn and a clock. It's the worst duo in the NFL. You just never want to see those two together. Man, I don't know. The Chargers won, but I seriously don't understand how Anthony Lynn has a job after the season.
I don't see it. I don't see him having a head coach.
I
don't see him having a head coaching job after the season either.
I think he's great running back coach. Great running back coach. Great guy for the locker room, but he's just not. I don't think he's a head coach yet. He needs a few more years to figure the offense out. I mean, you have Raiders secondary that can't cover grass.
Yes.
Their pass
That's just the Raiders defense.
Average.
Their pass rush is below average.
I mean, they got Crosby and Farrell. So, I mean, their pass rush is decent. But you have a rookie
that's a shaky
quarterback.
Decent.
Pretty much. I'd say it's average for right now. But you have a quarterback who's freaking dealing on Thursday night football prime time, and you run it on 2 third downs, and you're like ultra conservative with your clock. The rookie quarterback and you already have no chance at playoffs. Why are you being so conservative? Just go out there and freaking throw the ball with Herbert, man. I didn't understand. Herbert's been insane. He's carried that Chargers team so much.
Yeah.
And I'm getting Phillip Rivers type vibes from this. I feel like the Chargers are just going to waste his career again.
Herbert's better than Rivers, though, in terms of talent. Much better.
In terms of, I mean, as much as I like to dog,
Herbert has a stronger arm and was much more mobile than Rivers is.
Yeah, but you have to give Rivers credit for those teams. What he did with some of those teams is insane. I like to, on Rivers a lot because he's annoying, but yeah, I'm getting Phillip Rivers vibes from what the Chargers are about to do to Herbert. But I think one thing is Herbert has probably gotten Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
bag.
I definitely think it's going to Justin.
I knew you were going to make that joke. I didn't want to even bring it up. But I have a feeling that Jefferson isn't going to get the award over Herbert.
Probably not. It's going to go to Herbert.
Even though, if someone was to I honestly do think Justin Jefferson is the more deserving player, Rookie of the Year. I would agree with that, but it's a quarterback award, and
everything's a quarterback award except if it's defense.
Yeah. So I just don't see it. We'll talk about the awards later.
I guess you could argue it is a quarterback award because they really could have given it to Jameis Winston last year, Defensive Player of the Year, with throwing 30 interceptions.
Listen, man, he had LASIK eye surgery. Okay, it was not his fault. Okay,
is that why they started Taysom Hill over him?
Well, to be fair, and I hate to say this, that was the completely correct move, and it makes me look like a
Yeah.
chump.
No,
'Cause
it
I
was
was
the right move.
completely
I'm
against
just
that
I'm
move.
just saying you have a first
Oh,
overall
but
pick
you know how
quarterback
much of a
and you're starting
you know how much
like
of
a
a chump
29-year-old
made me look
undrafted
like.
guy over him.
Oh, that made me look like such a dumbass. I mean, who could have predicted what Taysom Hill did with that Saints offense? That was just insane.
I mean,
Anyway,
yeah, we
or
both look like
that I was wrong about that.
we've both looked incredibly stupid on this podcast many times, so it's just part of the
Yeah,
just
we
part of
both
how it
put Wentz
goes.
in our top 10, and then we both finally buy in on Wentz, and then Wentz is like, "I'm gonna go
Psych.
get benched real quick."
You thought?
Like, bye, bro. Oh, we both had Russell Wilson at number 1 quarterback.
No, you had Mahomes at one. I had him at I had
Did?
Wilson at one.
Oh, oops. Anyway, we both had Russell Wilson on the top 2, and he's played like absolute poo poo.
He started great, but
But Russ Cook, that kind of went away.
yeah,
Anyway, moving on from that. Your Broncos. I didn't even watch this game.
the game was terrible.
Oh,
How
most Broncos games
People still defend Drew Luck as the future of the franchise. Mind boggles me so much.
It's not like this is like the best quarterback class we've seen in like 5 years or something like that.
This is ridiculous. Josh Allen is amazing, especially when he's playing against corners that shouldn't be that shouldn't be starting in the NFL. I mean, there's not much we could really say about that. Broncos
Yeah.
were just flat out beat in every phase of the game.
Yeah.
Drew Lock
And I think that's
did not have
one
a good
thing
game
I am
after
kind of
his
shocked.
last game.
I am kind of shocked that I haven't heard Vic Fangio slander
No,
from a lot of Broncos fans this year, or
it's,
even just from the media in general.
it's
I
not
haven't seen a
Fangio's
lot
fault.
of-
Honestly, I buy
know
into
that.
what I buy
I'm
into
just saying, but
Fangio.
I'm just saying it's surprising because when you see a season like this, it's a guy in his second season and he's having a really down year. You know, normally the media gets on him a little bit about it, but you haven't seen a complaint about Fangio beside his clock management a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just an interesting thing. I just haven't seen it. But Josh Allen, I'm sorry. I'm all in on the Josh Allen MVP.
He'll definitely
I'm
get
dying on
votes.
it.
If he doesn't
He
get
will,
a
but he's
single
not
vote,
going to
then
get it.
this is criminal.
You know what's funny? And I know this doesn't relate to Josh Allen. Remember when we were talking about Russell Wilson never getting an MVP vote?
Yep.
And after the first 3 weeks of the season, we're like, that's going to change this season.
Nope.
It's probably not.
Yeah.
But I honestly, in my opinion, I think I said this last week. I know Mahomes has the flashier numbers. I know Rodgers is having his best season he's had in like 10 years. I get it. But still think Allen has consistently, in my opinion, been the most valuable player.
100%.
So we'll see. He's not going to win it probably. 99% is probably going to go to Rodgers.
Yeah, I would bet Rodgers 100%.
But what's the thing about Rodgers? And I don't want to talk about the Packers right now because we have to talk about it. But I just want to say this: is what that Packers team have you seen in close games that has made you go, "That's the Packers team I want." I mean, fun tidbit information: their winning record against teams over 500 is the same as the Jaguars and Jets.
Yep. I was just about to mention that. Yep.
Got gobsmacked by the Buccaneers defense, which has looked terrible the last few weeks. I mean, I don't know. I'm just not sold on any of the NFC teams in the playoffs right now. I think every single NFC team has huge flaws. And you know how you said last week, the Rams? Yeah. And then they lose to the Jets.
Yeah.
So, who knows, man? The NFC is just a freaking dogfight right now. Packers were actually the next game. Oops.
Just had to
My
lose
bad.
to the Jets.
That was brutal. It was just
So
brutal.
I want to go ahead and give a guarantee win of the week to the Rams this week playing against the Seahawks. They got to be pissed. They're gonna be pissed.
if you think McVay held a grudge over Belichick for only holding him to 3 in the Super Bowl, what do you think he's going to do to the Jets or to the team, the next team after he just loses to the worst team?
And it's his rival. It's the rival too.
Oh my God! I mean, Jared Goff might throw for 7 touchdowns. I mean, it legitimately might happen,
I'd be in full
especially
support.
with Seattle's defense.
Yeah.
Thanks. But speaking of Packers, they're the next team. I didn't even know that. They barely won against the Panthers, which I thought was funny.
What a surprise. Packers struggle.
Yeah, so
What?
they
Where'd that come from?
it's just it wasn't even the defense. The offense was just blank. You know, I mean, damn. I know Packers fans are more mad about Robert Tanya not having any Pro Bowl or not getting in the Pro Bowl, but
I'm sorry. Garrett Bowles was snubbed from Pro Bowl. I don't want to hear about Robert Tunyon.
New England hasn't had a very good season, so I can't say there was many players on New England that really deserved a Pro Bowl.
Besides J.C.
But
Jackson.
if you were to lock me in a room and put a gun to my head and said, "What's the one player on New England you should think make the Pro Bowl?" It would 100% have been J.C. Jackson. It would not have been Jake Bailey, although Jake Bailey is a monster. It would not have been Matthew Slater because he's the best special team guy of all time. But that's a given, him in the Pro Bowl. J.C. Jackson didn't even get in the Pro Bowl. They put Gilmore over him.
Yeah, I would put
He's
J.C.
injured
Gilmore.
for like 4 or 5 weeks.
Fan vote.
Like I know it's a popularity contest. I get it. I understand. 100%. So I'm not that upset. But you have Xavier Howard, who's in decoy conversation, and you have J.C. Jackson, and their stats are not that far off. They are pretty close.
Yeah.
And you have Xavier Howard, a front runner for decoy. You have J.C. Jackson not even in the Pro Bowl. Anyway, moving on from that. I could rant on that for an hour.
I wonder how many of the votes he missed out on because the Pats didn't put him in as an eligible Pro Bowl selection on day, like the beginning of day one.
And it also could have been because people think he doesn't cover the number one receiver, which is a lie. We don't go by number one unless it's like a true number one. We mostly go by speed. So J.C. Jackson is like, he was the one covering Tyreek Hill when he had a good game. He was the one, his only mishap was against the Jets when he had a blown coverage on Brashad Perriman. It was just a miscommunication. That was it. I mean, that's his only bad play of the year was Brashad Perriman beating him for a 50-yard touchdown. Just insane. It's the Pro Bowl. We're not even having it this year. It's on Madden.
And Madden's probably not even going to show a full game.
Oh, no. They're doing something like weekly, like promo thing. Yeah, it's not a game.
You think
EA
Madden
knows that
you think
if
EA
they
was going to show Madden on national television for for one of their full games and say it's a simulation football game? Yeah, they weren't going to do that.
Apparently,
they know that's a death sentence.
I don't own a PS5 or an Xbox Series, whatever they call the Xbox.
Series X.
And so I don't have next gen. Apparently, the next gen version of the game is making players go back to the PS4 version.
Really?
The Xbox One version. Because the zone coverages they don't play zone. Like they'll call zone and they'll just stand in one spot.
What?
They made kickoffs. You can't do kickoffs because they're so glitchy. There's a glitch on kickoffs where you score a touchdown every play.
Wow.
The next gen version of the game is like a dumpster fire. So they would definitely not going to do that because it's most likely not going to be ready until March or April. So,
That's
anyway,
ridiculous.
moving on from EA. Something hilarious happened this weekend. This is probably my favorite thing besides Monday night. Bucks Falcons game. I loved it. So Falcons took a lead. Went up 17 in the third. Had the game won. Except they're the Falcons. So
Yeah.
I think everyone kind of knows what happens when the Falcons have a lead. So when the Falcons had that 17-0 lead, Brady looked terrible in the first half. So of course, whenever Brady has a bad half, it always happens. Twitter erupted with the He sucks. Bench him. Washed. System quarterback. That's the number one. That if you don't know what to criticize, just call him a system quarterback. You'll get 200 likes on the tweet every time, without a doubt. And then Brady just gigantic shit all over the Falcons. It was great. It was beautiful. I loved it. I love watching the Falcons lose like that. It's wonderful. Great thing.
It's just commonality at this point.
No, it's like it's not even a Brady. Like people are saying, "Oh, Brady owns space in the Falcons." No. The Falcons, anytime they see like a 17-point lead, I would honestly just leave.
Like, just put in some backups.
I'd rather be down 17. I'm pretty sure, which they're used to that too. But so that happened, right? Mm-hmm. And then I guess so Brady shut everybody up by playing well again, and so Tony Dungy was doing his quarterback rankings and he put him at 6. Which is just stupid. Like he put I think Marino and Steve Young over him.
Oh, you meant all time.
Hilarious. Yeah. Well, he did. He wasn't saying go. He said it was the hardest to guard. Right? Hardest to guard. And Tony Dungy's I think below 500 against Brady in his career. It's not close. But Brady responded by showing the Colts how they always put a banner for AFC finalist, just mocking them, and it's wonderful.
I think everyone mocked the Colts for that one.
It's great, and then everyone's like, "Well, it's Tony Dungy didn't coach the same thing." But yeah, so Brady had a good game. Have you seen his season stats?
Yes.
He's on pace for a lot better than what I thought. He's actually at a season. I can't believe what I'm saying. If you were paying attention to the meet, he's on pace to throw for 38, 39, 40 touchdowns, something in that range. I mean, for a 43-year-old
and set a career high in interceptions.
Pretty sus. Nah, you said they were going to do that though.
Yeah, I did, but I'm just saying.
Bruce Arians, bro, just let the man call the game. Because I still feel and I know this is completely not based on anything, but it almost feels like Bruce Arians calls the first half and they suck, and second half they run Brady's offense and actually I don't know, move the ball.
Yeah, because Brady's pretty much been the Buccaneers this year. He's dominated against bad teams, but against good teams he's actually struggled.
Yeah. That's the thing that's worrying for playoffs.
Especially against the Saints.
You don't know how to gauge.
Especially against the Saints. He sucked big time against the Saints.
Exactly. And it's like when they go against the Saints, they just refuse to run the ball. They just don't give it to Ronald Jones at all.
And I don't think he's still going to be back next week. I believe.
Yeah. That would be that's pretty rough for Tampa Bay because he's been their unsung hero. I think everyone's talking about the receivers and the tight ends and the offensive line, but who's really been a huge savior for them is Ronald Jones, being a really good, consistent back for the first time in his career. It's been completely undervalued this season.
Agreed.
So yeah, I don't think Brady's having a top 10 QB season, but I definitely think he's actually if you listen to the media is telling him he's a bottom 10 quarterback. There's been some pretty bad quarterback play this year.
Yeah.
Damn it, Wentz.
Lock.
Ham. No,
I have a friend I have who's a Patriots fan. He literally goes on every single one of Cam Newton's Instagram posts that he sees and comments garbage ass quarterback.
That's okay. Okay. You do you, man. Isn't that's the one you always talk about? Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, moving on. We move on from that conversation.
That's the special one.
Oh, jeez. Well, most Patriots fans are special.
That's very true.
I mean,
he's also an Alabama fan too, so.
I mean, look at me, man. I mean, you know, it's not even close. Anyway, uh, 49ers Dallas was a pretty boring game.
It
I
was.
watched it.
Tony Pollard
Didn't
is
enjoy
Tony
it.
Pollard, and I love Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard, just give him the running back one job, man. Like, if you literally, like, again, like we said last week, he looks like the $90 million running back. Zeke does not look like the $90 million.
This is why you don't play.
He just
this is
doesn't.
why you don't pay running backs. Stop paying running backs.
I still think there's only 2 running backs, I think, in the league or three that really deserve that type of money, and that's Henry, McCaffrey,
and Cook.
And you could throw Barkley in when he comes back from his Achilles. As of right now, those are the only 3. Because those guys just added an extra dimension to the game. Yeah. The game was Josh Rosen signed with the Niners.
I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, it happened yesterday, I think. Good fit. It's the scheme pretty well. I don't know anything else about it. I mean, we haven't really seen much of Rosen since his rookie year.
Yeah.
We saw like a couple games
in Miami
from him last year. That was about it. And
but this is somehow, with all the injuries they have, this is the best team he's been on in his career thus far.
Yeah, easily. And he probably won't. I mean, I honestly have been impressed with Nick Mullins, though. He's not a starting caliber quarterback.
No, he's a mid-high quality backup.
But he's proved that. I think he definitely like if the Niners decide they want to move on to it like a younger project quarterback as a backup next season, he could seriously get some good money as a backup next summer.
Oh yeah,
maybe 2-year like $15-16 million deal.
Just as long as the Niners don't draft a quarterback, I'd be fine with it.
It's possible. I mean,
I don't want them to. I know a lot of Niners fans are clamoring. They're literally one pick ahead of Denver in the draft.
Every single quarterback-starved team saw yesterday's bowl game and just got sold on the Zach Wilson quarterback 2 train.
No.
Everybody. I'll give you the credit. You were on it for like months. No.
Why does this happen to like every player that I just go, yes, this is my guy this draft? Every single draft this happens, and I hate it. Started with Christian McCaffrey.
You need to add that to like your draft resume.
I hate it.
You need to add that to like your draft board resume, man. But yeah, so Zach Wilson, you heard it here on the Belichick's Bitches podcast first. Not really first, but first. And Zach Wilson was a guy. And I've been impressed with him. He's fun to watch. Him versus that UCF team it was a slaughter. It was fun to watch, though. Especially as a Patriots fan who knows we're not going to get him. Still wants him now anyway. It's like, please.
I mean, if you guys do the unprecedented and trade up, you're only at 15. You probably take him in the top 5, though.
Yeah. I still think if we're drafting a QB, it's Mac Jones or Kyle Trask.
I'd be 100% okay with Denver trading up and mortgaging the future for Zach Wilson, honestly. Because I think this roster we have a good enough, young enough core where we can sacrifice, like, this year's first and second, next year's first and second to actually get Zach Wilson. I'd be completely okay with sacrificing the early round picks of the future to get Zach Wilson because I believe this roster is young enough and has decent enough players that it can actually compete. And for the holes that we do need, we can address them in the mid rounds of the draft, like corner, or in free agency because we have some money to do so. Please, Elway, stop. Trade lock. Just trade lock. Get him out of the locker room. All in. Zach Wilson, please. That's all I want. That's all I want for Christmas.
But, yeah, I mean, I think this quarterback class, the more I look into it, and I'm not the biggest scout guy, but I've been watching more, tape and watching more highlights. The more I'm looking into this class, there's legitimately 6 to 7 first-round quarterbacks. You could really go.
I think you have the argument for 5 or 6. Yes, the seventh would be a massive surprise,
Yeah,
but maybe it could happen if at the back end, like the very back end, like the Lamar Jackson 32nd overall pick sort
yeah,
of thing. If some
yeah,
team
and
really falls in love with Desmond Ritter, it could happen.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I've also seen a lot more people start to get on the Ian Book train. I don't really understand, but
N-
apparently a lot
Yeah,
of people are high
I've
on
heard
Ian
that a
Book.
lot too. I don't understand it. He,
I mean, he's a tall, he has a lot of movement in him,
yeah,
but his arm is a little
shaky.
shaky.
Yeah,
But he does have a winning resume in college, which I mean, some people that's not really important.
and you,
Some teams in the high second, mid second round, if they want to take a flyer at quarterback, I could see Ian Book going off in the second.
yeah, he gives
Person.
me some like he's he's very rhythmic. He has to be in a rhythm, otherwise he's not good at all. So if you don't get him in a rhythm early on, you're basically
Almost like a
putting yourself in.
Mariota
Yeah, kind of.
quarterback. No, that's not like his play style. I'm talking about like the
Yeah,
rhythmic type. Speaking of Mariota, we didn't talk about in that Raider game. Mariota stepped in and played up really well. The
and
Raiders.
I also have major awareness concerns with Ian Book as well.
That's another name I've been hearing a lot. Has been Ian Book. I'm like,
Yeah, trust
I
me,
mean,
I've
I
been
know he
hearing
is,
it too.
but
I've been hearing him as a
Book.
first round pick. I'm like, no,
I wouldn't go that far. I
no.
was thinking of Riddler when I said that 6 to 7 first.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean Mac Jones. I mean, I even wouldn't. I mean, Mac Jones has impressed me. I honestly wasn't big on Mac Jones going into this season,
neither was I. He's really shown a
but
lot.
he's looked really good in that Alabama scheme. And I know the kind of the cop out, and it is pretty valid. Is he's got NFL weapons on his team. I mean, he's got Devontae Smith, Waddle. He's got the best running
Mechie,
back project we've seen in
Mechie,
like 5 years
Najee,
behind him.
Brian Rupp. No, wait, that's
I mean
Jordan.
that.
I don't know why I was
Yeah,
gonna say
I
that.
mean, so yeah, I don't know. It's just something interesting.
Yeah,
To see.
Steve
Okay, we're rambling
Sarkisian
on
has done
college, but
extremely well with Mac Jones.
oh, yeah, that offense. I mean, they were getting helped by the fact they were playing Florida, which pass defense is trash to say the least.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've been impressed with Trask a lot this season.
I have
don't
I
know,
have
it's
my
just this
concerns
quarterback class.
about Mac Jones and Kyle Trask though, because they don't
Yeah,
really
that's why they're
provide
gonna be.
anything that's really elite.
Yeah,
So and
sure.
we've been seeing with some of those quarterbacks that haven't really been elite at a certain thing, but like look to be like the NFL pro ready quarterback, but
Yeah,
they just
Trubisky, Rosen.
Trubisky, Rosen, um, who else? There's one from last year. Haskins. Haskins. He was talked about being one of those quarterbacks as well. We'll talk about him just shortly, actually.
Yeah, let's move on because we're talking about college, and we could talk about college ball a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait until the NFL season is done. I know I hate to say that.
What do you think?
weirdly,
I've been
but
full in
when,
on college for a while now, Brad.
I know, but like when the NFL season does calm down, podcast is going to get interesting. I have to get back to getting those interesting scripts going.
Yeah.
But okay,
The
so
more
Lions
creative
Titans.
strips.
I'll be honest. The only thing interesting about the Lions Titans game is Derrick Henry completely murdering somebody on the field, and it's somehow legal.
That's not a surprise. He's done that very consistently.
The video, okay, everyone's seen it. What hurt me was the sound. It wasn't even the play, right?
Yeah.
It was the sound of it. Oh man, Jesus, God, it was gross, man. So that, and then I'm just gonna say this right now: Stafford is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now.
I
Saying it.
I can't necessarily disagree. No.
If I had to rank the quarterbacks this season, it would probably be top 3 is obvious, the MVP frontrunners, and then number 4 would be Watson, and number 5 would be Stafford. At least this season. So that's just me. Stafford's just been insane this season.
I mean, I'm
on
not
that
going to
poor
rank
Lions
the
team.
quarterbacks yet because that's supposed to be something we're doing after the season. So
Well, that's why I didn't say what my top 3 was. It's 8. the order, my top 3. I think Stafford is a top 5 quarterback, at least for me. You'll see him in my top 5. I'll tell you that you'll see him in my top 5 quarterback.
He's done exceptionally better after Matt Patricia firing.
Yeah, it's because they're actually like letting him actually like throw the ball. He's doing it without his wide receiver 1 too. Galladay's been, as a Kenny Galladay fantasy owner, trust me, I know Kenny Galladay's been injured. Okay.
Yeah, that's been very frustrating, to say the least.
But he hasn't been put on injured reserve, so I can't put him on IR. Mainly because I have Michael Thomas and George Kittle on IR. But even then, you know, my first 2 picks are on IR. You love to see it. And I'm still in the fantasy championship.
Well, it's not like you had a great division to play against.
Listen, man.
Everyone else in the division was
7-6,
5-8.
man. It's got the heart, okay? Got the heart. Just got the luck. Texans Colts, another game that was pretty interesting, and the fact that the Colts seem to always struggle with Houston until the end. I don't know why. It's like that every single season, twice a game.
Yeah.
I've just got to say, man, the Colts are lucky. Their fumbles. 3 games have ended on a fumble recovery this season.
You gotta make plays when they happen.
Hey, gotta give them the credit. I mean, someone's gotta make the play. It's great. I just hope that they don't run out of luck by the time the playoffs come and they just get smacked. There's a real possibility.
I mean, they ran out of luck last year. But
they did. Yeah, they did. By the way, the Colts still suck. 2014 AFC Finals. Moving on. Oh yeah, Louis Riddick is getting.
Someone say deflated balls. What?
GM offers. Yeah, that's why we won 20 in the second half when there was no deflated balls, quote unquote. Yeah. Anyway, moving on from that. We could have an hour discussion on that. Trust me. Louis Riddick is getting GM interviews again. He's done it for 3 teams this year or so far. He's done Houston, Lions, and there's a third.
Can I get one?
I don't remember the third. But it was 2 and another team. So he'll probably most likely get a job. He's been like a GM candidate for like what 2 years now? 3
Yeah.
Years?
He's basically the Eric Bieniemy of GMs.
I think he'll get. I think both guys will be hired. Bieniemy will be most likely hired this season. I would imagine.
If he isn't, that's crazy.
Bieniemy, bro. Imagine Bieniemy on the Chargers with Herbert. That would be nuts. I would love to see that. I think that would be a great hit. Most likely not going to happen. But if I had to have my choice where Bieniemy goes, it'd be there. We'll see. Oh, New England. I'm going to be honest. There's really not much to talk about. Our only 2 Pro Bowlers are special teamers.
No, you got
and
Gilmore.
J.C. Jackson. J.C. Jackson in my heart.
Just like
Philly
how
has
Garrett Bowles is a Pro Bowler in my
sucked.
heart. It's going to be the second year in a row where a Broncos player gets snubbed from the Pro Bowl but is going to get first team All-Pro. Guarantee.
It's going to be
because last year was Simmons, this year it's going to be Bowles.
That's just great. What was I saying? Yeah. Jake Bailey's a monster. Matthew Slater. I can say one thing. Slater is the best special teams player of all time. That probably means very little. And it really does. He's the best special teamer of all time. To the bank. But other than that, it was a pretty blank week. New England lost Gilmore to a season-ending injury, tore his quad. Of course. Hopefully that doesn't hurt him when he's trying to get a trade.
Yeah.
Because I really want him to see him succeed. He's been great for New England. He's been one of the better leaders in the team, and him and he's done a great job. New England lost. There's rumors we're starting Jarrett Stidham. It won't really matter. Gonna get destroyed by the Bills on Monday night. That's gonna be just a brood. It's gonna be ruthless. I'm looking forward to it. This game, I didn't even watch this game because it's just 2 teams that are just vastly underperforming.
Yeah, you gotta imagine Mike Zimmer's
Bears,
on the hot seat.
It's weird. Yes, because the Vikings are underperforming a lot. But at the same time,
He's been there for a long time too, and
yeah,
not much of has
and if
happened.
a lot, he's had a lot worse seasons than this. So if this is the season, it just doesn't seem like this is the season. I feel like he's going to get one more year, and I've been wrong a lot, so don't take that with a grain of salt. But I just don't see him being the issue. I feel like he can blame a lot of this on Kirk Cousins. Just kind of get one more quarterback. That just seems like something that would happen, at least to me. But yeah, I like how Zimmer is finally showing some emotion though. He's always been that kind of coach that's kind of like Tomlin, that's just kind of standing there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it's kind of like, eh. He's been getting pretty hyped up this season. I love it. Unrelated, Oklahoma. Who are they playing in their championship? I think it was Indiana State. And the coach for Indiana State lost his shit.
Oh yeah, I
It's
saw.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that. People are like when they see that happen, they're like, oh, why is he so mad? Because Oklahoma clearly in offsides, but I loved it. It was great. I think I sent you that. I said this is my type of coach. I love the type of coaches that just get really animated, like the Robert Sala. I can't wait to see him at the NFL
Oh yeah,
head coach. That's going to be
he's
insane.
got to be a head coach.
I mean, what he's done with that 49ers defense of practice squad players, someone needs to get on as an NFL head coach. I'm just saying, Cowboys.
Can I give you
Fire Mike
two
McCarthy.
pretty funny stats here that I'm looking at right now that I just like looked up? Well, not like looked up. I'm actually looking at the division standings for the entire NFL, and I just noticed this. So, if you had to guess, who is the only team with a winning record that has a negative point differential?
Bears.
Huh?
Bears.
Bears don't have a winning record. They're 7-7.
Don't. But they were. Oh. Winning record, negative point differential. I think this is obvious. Oh. What is it?
The Cleveland Browns. And
The
negative 6.
point differential.
Negative 6. Yep. And
Just that rate, the Ravens and Steelers game from earlier this season. I guess so.
And there's only one team with a losing record that has a positive point differential.
Chargers.
Nope.
Damn, I was trying to get that. Falcons.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's two. Yes, Falcons is one of them.
Falcons, I knew because the offense has been good this season.
They have a +2
so
point differential, and there's one more.
Again, I'm thinking. I mean, I almost want to say New England.
No.
Because of the Rams game. No, I didn't think so. This is annoying.
Washington. +7.
Okay, that should be way more obvious. I'm a dunce.
I just completely forgot about Washington because I saw them at the top of the division. It's like, oh, they probably the top of the division winning record. I didn't even look. That was the NFC East.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Washington, they lost finally. That win streak's over.
I like how you made. I like how you made. I think it was an unintentional pun on the Google Doc. Haskins was stripped of captaincy.
I didn't mean for that, but that's great.
I know. I that's why I called it an unintentional pun.
Most of y'all know. He got caught in a
Gentleman's club.
That's great. I should have taken credit for that. Yeah, he got caught at a strip club.
Oh, I was gonna go for the more correct, the more PG friendly name, but okay, that works too.
It was a strip club, and I think the issue wasn't that he's at the strip club. I feel like that's like not really that big of an issue, but he was maskless, so that's the they took his captain badge away, and they fined him. I think $40,000.
How did he even still have a captain's badge?
They voted for him. Because the guys he came into training camp as the starter.
Oh, okay. So
they
it wasn't
voted on it as a
coach.
team.
It wasn't like a coach given. It was a team voted on.
Do you think Rivera would have made him a captain?
No, that's why I was surprised.
No, it was a locker room, so they still support him. People thought he was going to get cut. Not happening.
No, well, he still has trade
Stripped
value.
of his captaincy. That's a good punt. I should have taken the credit for that. Yeah. That was great.
See, you got to have a pun brain to notice the puns, and you don't have a pun brain.
Oh, I did it again.
Stop it. You're terrible. You are literally Hitler. There, I fixed
I
it.
did fix it right. There you go. I guess we'll just kind of we'll go. Let's go over these two games in a bunch because let's be honest, we're pretty bad.
The Jaguars now have the number 1 pick. The Jets somehow beat the Rams, and they screwed themselves out of Trevor Lawrence.
Yes.
That's pretty much it.
I don't want Trevor Lawrence in the AFC East. So take Jaguars, please take him. Please, I beg you.
The Jaguars
That's
absolutely
beautiful.
should.
The Jets,
If they take,
that was the
they
Jets'
have
worst.
the Jaguars take Trevor Lawrence. They have over $100 million in cap room, and they have 11 draft picks this year.
And you know the offense? They have undrafted rookie running back James Robinson, who's been a monster.
They got DJ Shark.
DJ Shark. I said his name
Shark.
right.
Laviska Shenault.
Shenault.
My man.
Shark. Shenault. They have... I don't really have a tight end. I thought they had a tight end. They don't. And the offensive line isn't terrible. There's some improvements to be made on the offensive line. The defense has some young guys that can play.
Yeah.
Allen, Clavon Chasen, C.J. Henderson, just can't tackle. Team's good. It's just they're kind of obviously tanking, a little too obviously. But hey, I'm just saying, man. Lawrence would be happy to go there because you have good weapons. Yeah, like you said, 11 draft picks
And over 100 cap room. Yeah.
Jaguars might be a little bit of a sneaky 8-8 team next year.
And plus,
that kind of rebuilding year.
They're an attractive place for free agents. Why?
Yep.
Florida has no in-state income tax.
Yep. So you'll get that contract money. Nice. Just saying. Plus, it's Florida, and people like the Florida weather. Even though it's not Tampa or Miami, but it's Florida weather. Yeah, so those two games. I mean, the Jets, how do you win that game? I mean, you were so committed to the tank that you intentionally called a zero blitz on the Hail Mary play. But yeah, you go out there and dominate the Rams. Like, pick one, man.
Yeah, thanks, Rams.
Just struggle. And
really
go with
did me a great favor there.
Oh, man. That's great, though. Honestly, the Jets, we were talking before that Zach Wilson thing. Maybe you go tackle. But I feel like after that Zach Wilson thing, I feel like the Jets kind of need to take Zach Wilson.
No.
After what he did in that bowl game.
No.
At this point.
No.
Trade Darnold.
No.
Darnold's value may be like a third?
Yeah, I'd probably put it around third, yeah.
Third round, maybe you could get like a team that pay a second and you give them a 6 and bada bing bada boom. But,
I prefer my my Jet strategy because it doesn't involve taking Zach Wilson.
So we all know why you prefer the Jet strategy, that draft strategy. We all know.
It also does make sense though. I mean,
it does. I mean, Penei Sewell and Mekhi Becton would be a nasty 2-tackle duo.
Yes, very, very, very much so.
And if you'd rather have your one of your tackles be injury prone, you kind of rather him be the right tackle, left tackle.
Yeah.
Keep going. Eagles Cards. That was actually a pretty fun game. I won't lie. I enjoyed it. Jalen Hurts is playing way better. I thought he was. It's kind of annoying though that they're actually like Doug Peterson has been calling like a good game.
Yeah, because he's actually calling plays that fit Jalen Hurts.
Like, you couldn't do that for Wentz. Like again, Rager had no.
Here, Hurts, we're gonna use your athleticism and our play calling. Wentz, you want us to call plays for you? No. No.
It's like they expect him to play Hero Ball because he's getting paid. That's
Pretty much
just
what he's
stupid.
been forced to do.
I know, man. It's like I still think, and people are like turning on Wentz saying it's terrible. I honestly think he's shown top 10 quarterback potential. That just doesn't disappear in one season. Something that just doesn't vanish. I feel like a lot of it is Doug Peterson and the Eagles coaching staff.
100%.
So it's pretty much with Hurts doing this good. It's pretty much a foregone conclusion that Wentz is gone now. I mean, no, I was the one talking about trade rumors like 8 weeks ago, but it's kind of like a conclusion at this point that he's probably going to be leaving. He even said, if you're gonna roll with Hurts, just trade me.
That doesn't sound like a Wentz thing to say, though. I think that probably came from his agent.
Yeah, but I feel like, honestly, I mean, even though it's not a Wentz thing to say, that is completely justified.
Yes, 100%. And you also see with all like these people that are getting cut from Philadelphia and like free agents that have left, they all absolutely hate Howie Roseman, and they call him dumb. They like call him a clown. And you could just check like from Will Parks even. I think it was like the most recent one. He did not enjoy his time in Philadelphia.
Well, no, because they brought him in and he's a starting caliber safety. They brought him in and they were asking him to play like third safety minutes.
Yeah.
Playing, 26% of the defensive snaps. And he was their best safety by far. He was playing no snaps. Just insane.
And now he's back in Denver where he belongs, and I enjoy it.
But, I mean, you look at the Eagles cap situation, and knowing that they're going to have to eat even more dead money with trading Wentz.
Yeah.
Eagles, I think, are going to probably end up being the bottom feeder of the NFCs for the next few years. Even with Hurts. I feel like Hurts, he's been great. It's just he's not going to have much to work with for the next few years.
Yeah,
they fix the cap.
Their cap space, the Eagles' cap space for 2021 is negative $70.5 million.
And think about it.
Only one team is worse.
Wentz.
And that's the Saints at $98.8 million.
Well, that's disgusting. But they're going to have to trade Wentz, eat dead money, and then clear that.
Yep. You're going to have to probably pay someone a little bit extra to take Wentz.
Easily. Or you're going to have to write in that provision that the other team pays the contract, but in that case, his value goes to nothing because they're paying for the player, which normally that doesn't happen in a trade. So you're going to have to give up a pick. That's kind of like what the Osweiler situation was. That's what it's going to turn into.
I like to see
team's going to have to.
I like to see Washington do that, honestly.
You think they'd trade in division though?
Yeah, probably not, but it's something I like to see happen.
I feel like the Eagles would rather just tell them to sit out the year than to do that.
I mean, if they're that unconfident in Wentz, I mean,
yeah, that's true.
It's not completely unprecedented. It's happened before, but it's extremely unlikely.
Well, it's extremely unlikely for like just starters, let alone quarterbacks. I mean, like starters, you may see it. I mean, you'll see the Dolphins in New England work out backup trades all the time. So it's not like in-division trades are just not that, but it's like when it's a quarterback, that's a big deal. Even if he's like got a 90% chance of just not working out, there's still that 10% chance. It can always happen. So, Saints. Speaking of the Chiefs and Saints, they played a pretty good game. Breeze's arm is noodle.
Yeah, kind of what we've been saying this whole season about Breeze's arm.
I like someone said, Zach Wilson's arm strength. Give me like a range, and so much said Josh Allen to Drew Brees. I thought that was great. No, but the Saints defense looked pretty suspect, and I know every defense does versus the Chiefs, so it's kind of a mute thing to say, but something to monitor. That if that defense has one bad game in the playoffs, they're done. That team's going to live and die by the defense.
Yeah, even I was underrating Zach Wilson's arm strength when I first brought him up on the podcast too.
He has
Yeah.
a cannon, man.
I really hope those
there was
injury
that-
concerns drive him down draft boards. Please. Please drive him down draft boards, injury concern.
No,
Please.
that one throw he had was like right on the 1, and he was on the 40-yard line. He just threw like
Yep.
it looked like the ball just teleported. I was like, damn. Oh, did it again.
I hate you. You're literally the worst. You were literally Hitler.
So, Giants lost to the Browns. Shocker. Not really. Everyone kind of had that. The Giants without an offense. The Giants just don't have an offense.
Yes.
If the Giants had any resemblance of an offense, I feel like that team would the NFC East hands down. Because that defense is insane. I mean, they held Cleveland to 20 points. Cleveland's on fire offense right now. So, yeah. Daniel Jones' future is not looking good. in New York.
No.
I kind of wrote this down. I said, if I'm a free agent quarterback, I feel like the top 2 free agent quarterback names at the moment are going to be Stafford and Phillip Rivers. I mean, I feel like the Giants would be a pretty good destination. You have a not very strong conference or division. You have Saquon Barkley returning.
Terrible.
You have Darius Slayton at receiver. No? Evan Ingram, Pro Bowl tight end somehow. Hey, Giants might be a underrated target for these free agent quarterbacks. I think Stafford in New York would work out well. In my opinion.
Stafford's still under contract though.
I thought he was his contract had an out this year, or did I read that wrong?
It has an out, but he's not. He's still under contract.
I thought he was. Oh, never mind. I thought there was. I don't know why I read that. Don't mind me.
Yeah, he's still under contract until 2023, 2024.
Poor guy. Just get him out of there, man. Get him some help. He just deserves so much more. Then Detroit just hasn't done anything for him.
Yeah.
And the best thing they did was give him Calvin, but even Calvin wanted out of there by the time he was 32.
I don't.
Gets that
If
lame
Calvin
either.
really wanted out of there, why did he even resign in the first place?
Well, that's when he retired. I was saying when he retired.
I know.
I mean,
but
yeah, obviously, but he mean, when you'd rather just retire than continue to play, you're like in your prime. Even I know he's had injury concerns, but you're in your prime. You just say, hands up. I mean, it says a lot about the team, and it's happened to 2 Detroit Lions.
yeah.
I just get a chuckle out of that. Poor Detroit, man.
I want to give a
Oh yeah.
round of applause to Ryan Finley for his first career win as a starting quarterback in the NFL. And also a round of applause to Antonio Brown Juju Smith-Schuster.
Poo Poo McSchuster. Or Boo Boo whatever Antonio Brown said. That was funny. Seeing that back. Yeah, I don't know, man. Juju, he was the most popular player, I feel like. One of the more popular players last year.
Oh yeah,
And
he still is.
I
I
don't know
think
why,
I
it's
think he
just-
leads the league in jersey sales for non-quarterbacks.
Dude, it's just... And then what I think was weird is Javon Kinlaw, the 49ers rookie. He made a joke about him getting completely rocked, and Juju got all defensive about it. Get this female out of my DMs. Like, dude. Well, Javon Kinlaw is like 5 inches taller and weighs like 100 more pounds.
Yeah, you really shouldn't be talking crap to a defensive lineman.
If one of you two is a female, I'm not putting my money on him.
Yeah.
Okay. Saying. But yeah, I don't know. Juju's being a little bitch. He already said he's gonna stop dancing on the logos. I feel like that's gonna be on. That's gonna be part of his legacy.
Next home game, next away game, so that was a lie.
Nah, he won't. Mike Tomlin told him to stop. And I feel like Tomlin would not hesitate to get rid of him, especially with the receiver depth they have.
Yeah. It's the curse. It's the curse of the Steelers whoever's the Steelers number one receiver instantly turns into a giant diva.
And shout out to the only Steeler that I feel like deserves some praise is Deontay Johnson. He had he has had a lot of drop issues. Then he went out there and had a pretty good game on Monday Night Football. But his quarterback didn't show up, or the rest of his team.
Yeah.
How do you let Ryan Finley run all over you?
It. I'm being NC State, man. The next Philip Rivers, Ryan Finley.
Mackenzie Alexander. You know, he's like one of those corner linebacker hybrids. He's like the only one I think in the NFL that he plays both corner and linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of destroyed. He was destroying Juju. It was not funny. And William Jackson had like really good games. It was beautiful to see though.
I mean, it's always funny to see
television.
someone do that and just have a completely terrible game. It's like, serves you right. That's what you get.
Von Bell just destroyed him.
That was funny.
He wasn't even. Oh my god. He has more TikTok videos and receiving yards out here. Anyway, moving on. And we rambled today.
Just a bit.
Just a tiny bit. So, game of the week. I went first the last couple weeks. So, what's your game of the week this week?
If we're gonna go with most competitive, this game has huge playoff implications. I'm gonna go with Dolphins Raiders. I'm gonna say the Dolphins win. But if I just want to choose like my game of the week that I really want to watch, I really want to watch Rams Seahawks, because that's also like playoff implications. But the Rams are gonna be pissed, and I really want to see that.
That is gonna be interesting. I'm looking at these games. Colts Steelers is gonna be a funny game because you have the Steelers who are on a 3-game skid, and you have the Colts who, the Colts are a little inconsistent. So that's gonna be an interesting game, but just food for thought. I still feel like the Vikings Saints is gonna be a really good game. I feel like that's my game of the week. The Vikings are pretty much, I think, out of the playoffs.
Yeah, I think
at this
so.
point. So they're gonna do what they do best, and that's play spoiler to the Saints. So I think if I had to have an upset of the week, I'm gonna go Vikings upset of the week. I feel like the Saints defense is still gonna be a little shaky. Especially after
for a while.
Yeah. I mean, they've been solid, but the last few weeks they've been a little shaky.
Yeah, as they have.
I need Dalvin Cook to get like 80 fantasy points. That's what I really need. So, but I definitely think that's going to be the game of the week. Well, in 6-point favorites, I'd bet on that. Would. Your college players should be interesting.
My college player, I'm going to go with someone a bit under the radar. I'm going with Larry Roundtree III. Probably guessing you've never heard of him.
Have.
You have? Running back out of Missouri. 5'10", 210 pounds. This dude is a guy who just fights for yardage. He always keeps his legs moving and falls forward after contact. He's probably going to get you an extra 2 or 3 yards just from his pure effort and falling forward after contact. He's a good pass protector, and he didn't get many reps out of the backfield, mainly because Drew Lock was his quarterback, and Drew Lock doesn't know what a check down is. But during his time that he actually got some check downs, he's looked natural catching the ball, and he has good patience to let holes open up for himself. So he's kind of like a do-it-all back. He's a good do-it-all back. Very good effort. But his downside, he isn't really great at really anything. He's good at a lot of things, but isn't really great at one. Jack of all trades, master of none comes to mind. He's not a great athlete. His burst and elusiveness aren't something to write home about, and his long speed is questionable, to say the least. Should be a very good depth piece running back, and especially on the goal line, if you want someone who's really willing to get that extra effort. 7th round pick, undrafted free agent area. Could be good with the right scheme.
Yeah, I've heard about him because when Maryland was playing Ohio State a couple years ago, he was a freshman, and I heard his name quite a bit in the broadcast. But yeah,
He doesn't play
fantasy.
for Maryland.
What are you?
Missouri.
You know what? Same thing. Really, but it's the same thing. Yeah, I've heard that name quite a bit. I don't know why though, because fantasy. We're in the championship round. I still hate the 2 week format. I'd rather just get the game over with in 1 week, because I feel like if I get completely obliterated this week and I just watch it next week, it's gonna be just a shame. But my 7-6 team has got it, and this is in the bag. I'm calling it 7-16. Did I lose an arrow over there? Anyway, yeah, I'm playing my parents too in that league, which is interesting.
I should be in the playoffs. I should have beat your
Let's see,
parents twice if it wasn't for Devontae Adams both times.
Yeah, and now I have to hope that my own quarterback doesn't throw to Devontae Adams. That should be fun. But fantasy play of the week. I mean, honestly, this week for fantasy looks pretty sketch. Again, as usual, the Jets are playing somebody, so start everybody on the other team. It's just kind of rule of thumb at this point. Looking at the games, the Ravens are playing the Giants, so I would not start any Ravens. Like, I'm benching Marquise Brown. I don't really start him anyway, but would not start Marquise Brown in this game.
I have a fantasy player.
The Texans are playing the Bengals. Honestly, I would probably start. If I was looking for like a streaming quarterback, I wouldn't shy away from starting a Bengals quarterback against the Texans, who's been just terrible. I wouldn't shy away from that.
How about?
And finally, I'll throw it out there. If you have any Bills players, start them. I'm pretty sure Belichick's going to take these final 2 weeks and play them like a preseason game. I feel like you're going to see a lot of bunch of bench players getting snaps on defense and offense. I have a pretty good feeling because I don't think we're going to be winning many games. So I would start every Bills player. I'm starting Stephon Diggs. He's been carrying me last few weeks, and I need a miracle. So
Someone I'm starting this week is Dallas Goedert against the Cowboys.
I am starting him too, actually, in my fantasy game. He's been my starting tight end since Kittle has been put on IR.
He's been my starting tight end since Mark Andrews has been extremely inconsistent.
But Kittle is most likely not playing. Damn it. Sucks. I've lost both Michael Thomas and Kittle. Pain. My fantasy lineup this week is Rodgers, Cook, J.K. Dobbins. I'm a little worried about J.K. Dobbins against the Giants. I'm not going to lie. Diggs, Godwin, Goddard, Keenan Allen. I haven't decided my flex, and I have the Ravens kicker and defense. So, a little worried.
You should be fine.
Yeah. And I'm going against my super team parents.
Just win, please.
I want to say I'm 7-6, and I am the champion of the fantasy. That's all I want to know.
And I want to say that I beat the fantasy league champion. I don't care. It was week 1.
Beat me? Didn't you beat me too?
Week 1. John Brown. The only time John Brown was relevant.
Listen, man. I felt so good about John Brown after week 1, and then he just fell off the planet.
Yeah. How do you think I felt as his fantasy owner?
What you get for taking my advice.
Yeah,
I'm going to come up with a new weekly segment off season. I have to come up with a new one. I have like 2 ideas.
Yeah, imagine not having a sustainable weekly session.
Couldn't be me, bro. Oh, actually, it is me.
It is you. It's only you. Alright, I think that's gonna do it for this week's episode.
I'm honestly thinking about doing something like quarterback wise with because if there's one position I am completely comfortable scouting, it's quarterback. I don't know why, but my gut feelings on quarterbacks are usually correct. It's weird. I just No, I don't. I can't tell you the last time I like whiffed on a quarterback project that I was like sold on.
I can.
I was sold on Josh Allen. I was sold on Lamar coming out. I was sold on in the last year. I wasn't sold on either Daniel Jones or Haskins. They came out. I was like for both of them. I was like, nah.
Yeah.
I've been pretty spot on my quarterbacks for the last few years, so I'm thinking about doing something with quarterbacks most likely,
All right.
or
Sounds good.
play designs. Those two play designs. Been kind of dabbling in that lately. Anyway, enough rambling. If y'all turn in this week, we appreciate it. We got 2 weeks left of the season, and it's postseason time. Not like me or Brennan would know anything about that this season because our teams aren't in it.
Yeah,
But
we've
should
been
be
in
fun to watch.
post-season mode for a while now. At least I have.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's weird. I'm not trying to brag about this. I promise it's not trying to sound pretentious, but I haven't watched a playoff series in a playoffs in a long time without actually cheering for a team. So this should be actually pretty cool.
I'll probably start
way.
doing mock drafts after the
Ooh,
season.
we should see. We have ideas. I feel like our scripts are going to get longer in the off season.
Oh yeah, because we can actually be more creative.
Yeah, it's because we're kind of following the same format. It should be interesting, especially. I mean, the first script. Remember that was like 4 pages long. That was fun.
Yes. I still have all my notes written down. We had like a huge script and we had to spread it off like the first like 3 or 4 episodes because it was so long.
Because we didn't know how long it would take to talk. Yeah, so the shorter the script, the better.
Those are fun though.
That's why we ramble. I think that's kind of why we. Yeah, it was fun to make those. But anyway, if y'all listen this week, we appreciate it. We'll see y'all next week.
Well, we also ramble to keep it fresh because the scripts aren't.
You're just gonna ruin my ending like that.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, man.
I'm keeping it fresh.
Cut it.
Rambling in your ending.
Just cut it. See
All
y'all
right.
next